Welcome to the Shit Apple Podcast, where daily life gets drugged through the mud, wrapped in questionable wisdom, and served piping hot with zero shame. Well, someone's got to say the crazy stuff you're already thinking.
Hi, everyone. We're back. Part 2. So let's recap, shall we?
Yes.
We have our very first Shit Apple Podcast guest, Elyse Ann. You can find her on Instagram at Elyse Ann Psychic. She's already did a reading. Is that what you say? A reading?
Yes.
Okay. For Tiffany and myself. And now it's Diana's turn.
Yay!
And we're going to hear what she has to say to Diana. And then we're going to ask her some fun questions and go back to episode 1 to hear about how experienced Elyse Ann is.
Maybe Elyse will be back.
Ooh, I like that.
Right?
Anyway, yeah.
She could be a reg.
I got a message along the way here that, when we had a little break. What I was being told is in about a year and a half, this podcast, someone's going to come along. They're going to see you. They're going to find you. There's something. But I feel like in about a year and a half time, it'll open up. Not that it won't grow until then. It will continue to grow. But then I don't know if you can see, I'm starting to chill. And what that means for me when I chill is it's a bullseye. Do I always believe in the information I get as truth? Absolutely. But when I start to chill, that means I've hit that red dot center. Okay. So as it looks right now, it's almost like, I kind of want to use the word like, how people get discovered. Mm-hmm. There's something that's going to happen. Somebody somewhere will find you, ladies, and the door. It's like the door will swing open.
Find us.
The door will swing open. But the one thing I do want to just make sure, and I think we talked about this in the other episode, but divine timing. We always want to make sure that we allow for the divine timing. Okay? But that's what I saw in our break.
Someone else told us 2 years. You're saying a year and a half. I like
Yeah.
yours
But
better.
that was a couple months ago, so it's
Oh
close.
my God, it's getting close. So
It's interesting you say that because I would say that's definitely in the realm. If it was a couple months ago or even 3 months ago, you are moving towards a year and a half then. Time frame. Does that make sense?
totally.
Awesome.
We love that.
So,
Thank you.
All right. Diana, you ready?
Yeah, so we're going to start off with our prayer.
Yes, we are. Oh, listen to her.
She loves a
I
prayer.
love a prayer.
You love a prayer. Well, we should love prayers. And, prayers don't have to be religious.
Right.
No.
Prayers are just talking to whomever you believe in.
Yeah.
So they do hear it. If you ever use a saying like, oh, that kills me, guess what you're telling the universe?
I always say to my kids, I'm going to kill you.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
So I shouldn't say that. I'm going to murder you. I'm going to kill you. Nobody? Just me?
I would never.
What a bitch.
I would never.
We're not going
Okay,
to be
kids.
perfect.
I'm going to change it.
How about, you're going to be in big trouble, so just stop.
Okay, you meet my kids and then
What about I'm
we'll
going to beat the
decide.
hell out of you? No.
No.
Just kidding.
I'm going to beat the hell out of you.
Yeah, exactly. I've been wanting
Dude,
some of
Shelly's
those
biting
kids,
her
so
tongue, but
I'll
you
gladly
little,
get
dirty,
my
rotten
hands on those
scoundrel,
kids
you.
and bring them to my house.
So, we have to be kind to ourselves, too.
Yeah. All right.
We're gonna stop that
I won't threaten murder to my children anymore.
Yeah. Take a break. See
take a break.
if it makes
Makes
sense.
a difference. All of a sudden they're angels. Okay.
Yeah, right.
They're spirited.
That's another good word.
Good call, Diana.
Yeah.
Good tie-in.
Good tie-in. Okay, yeah, you're right. All right, either deck, doesn't matter.
I
What
mean,
deck?
I'm going to let you choose.
Well, these
Whichever
were the
one's
ones
calling.
in my hands.
yeah,
I
So-
feel like
she
you
grabbed that
asked
one.
about those, so maybe they're calling to
Oh,
you,
yeah,
Diana.
you did.
Diana, everybody, attention to Diana's space now. Diana must have her space. We're going to do her prayer. All in love. All in love. All right. Okay, Diana, you're ready. All right. I ask that all work here be done in love, light, and blessings, and that you ask your angels, guides, masters, and teachers to communicate with my angels, guides, masters, and teachers so we may receive the information and messages we are to receive today. You're going to probably go, what? But you're an interesting dynamic, and it's a positive thing. You can be very, very out there, but I also see as if you kind of not hold yourself like above, but you it's like you hold your space. And you've learned how to separate yourself out from drama sometimes. I mean, can you be part of it? Yeah, but I'm hearing, I think it's you telling me, one of the things that you've really worked on and have desired is more peace. And I think that you've taken steps to do that. And you've learned to kind of literally like almost remove yourself, not completely. You've learned how to manage that pretty well. And you've learned how to, the other thing they're adding that I just heard is, they gave me the vision of like dropping the excess before you walk home or walk in the door. Like literally.
I think that's very true.
Yeah, stopping and just leaving it outside to be transmuted or whatever. You don't bring it home. You separate your, oh, here it comes and I'm chilling. You separate your outside world from your inside world. I mean, your home life from the outside world. In that way, you don't really want to bring the if you want to put it as the ills or the chaos of the outside world into your home. You're looking to keep it as peaceful as possible. Yet you enjoy the liveliness. When your home is lively and full of people and it's bursting with,
God, so
you're
true.
just like, yeah, I'm going to bask in this. It's
very
great.
true.
You love that. You're very much, it's like a home. You're not a homebody, but it almost has part of that feeling to it, very much a
Yeah.
homebody. And your home is very, very special to you. It is your sacred space.
I
Yeah.
do feel like when you
Very
said that I definitely get my fill of drama, but I've learned as I've gotten older to cut the people out of my life that bring drama.
Excellent.
Family members, friends, whoever it is.
Excellent.
I just don't enjoy that and I don't want to be a part of it. And I think as maybe all of us get older, we're better at
We're
that.
trimming the fat.
Yeah, trimming the fat.
Yeah, well,
Trimming the
congratulations
drama.
on that.
Yeah, that's has been a hard skill to learn.
So, okay, I heard you. I'm getting to the cards. She's.
Oh, no,
I heard you. You're like, hey, the cards now. Okay, disclaimer on that one. No, I do not sit around and read people's minds, okay? But in a session, I can
You
pick
can
up.
see it.
I
You
can
can
pick
feel
it up.
the energy.
I can hear it sometimes,
Okay.
literally, what somebody's saying in their head.
And I wasn't meaning like hurry up. I
No,
was
I
meaning
know.
I want all like my time with like connecting with the thing.
It was what you were thinking, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Wow. You have a lot of love to give. And I feel like, yeah, you have your family, but there's something else right here. Some kind of, the one, this is how I'm going to interpret it, okay? Animals give unconditional love. They offer us unconditional love. And I feel like you get a lot of that, but there's this little piece missing almost, just a little piece. You have very healing, loving hands.
Okay.
And petting an animal, touching an animal, that I believe is what something about the animal kingdom falls into this. Okay. Remember, they're very naturally instinctive. They're very intuitive. You have a purity you need to get out. There you go. What does that mean? It has to do with the energy, the sensing in your hands. That's why they're talking about an animal, because we can pet an animal and you can allow some of that energy to flow between the two. I'm hearing kind of the word, metamorphosis. So the feeling I'm getting from this, I'm going to put it together the best I can, is that this is a potential way for you to have internal healing, emotional healing between that animal who's pure instinct, purely connected.
The pet, so I do have pets, but should I be volunteering at a pet shelter?
Well,
is it
what do
also
you
like
mean?
children? It could be like young children are similar to that pet
I understand
mentality
what you're
of they're still
Untouched
blinded
in
by
a way, yeah.
world in a way.
They are saying follow your heart.
Okay.
Okay, so whatever you're drawn to, and I actually see you drawn to almost all of it. So maybe you'll take turn, go home, hang with your pets, go to a library and volunteer for children's story hour. I mean, whatever, make it a combination. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Well, there's your answer, love. Child.
Oh, wow.
Child's love.
Okay.
Why?
This is crazy.
Why are you?
I-
Does it make
Thank
sense?
you for asking that, because
Yeah.
I was going to ask her that.
I
Thank you.
just
You mentioned
often
children.
think when we're traveling, you see all these kids. Oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna cry. And I'm like, maybe I should bring one home or
Yeah.
adopt someone. I don't know. I just think about that sometimes.
But your pool is
I don't want more
overfilling.
kids, but I always feel I don't like extra
yeah,
kids, but I always
calling,
feel
like a
that
feel.
Yeah.
or even if
But you
one of my kids had a friend who their parents were moving, I would want to bring that
take
kid,
them. Yeah.
in a hot second.
Okay. So maybe it's not adoption, but it's still a beautiful
Something
way to
I want
honor your
something that-
I feel like
heart.
I'm gonna be there for a kid at some
Okay,
point.
that's
I want to be available.
Beautiful.
That's so cool.
Whatever speaks to your heart.
Yeah.
But I believe that's your answer.
Okay.
But I still would incorporate, laying with your animals or petting them a bit.
I will say the
10
dogs
minutes
always
a
go to
day.
Diana first.
Yeah, my dog loves.
Always goes to Diana.
You told me you teased your own kids with my dog.
Her dog
Swig
happens to like me,
loves-
so if the dog was going to my kids, I'd be like, "Come here," just to bring the dog to me,
get it to her.
mainly to irritate my children.
Yeah.
I do love kids. I really do. I have patience for them, all of them for the most part.
Yeah. And I see you elevating. I mean, that brings an energy to you that you don't even have to work at. Just go do it. And there's things that'll shift and change. You're going to feel lighter.
Okay, give me one of your kids.
Give me one of your
Anyone you want.
Any
Wow. Okay. I love this card, intuitive nudges. That brings me, we've talked a lot about intuition. And hold on a second. Let me, someone on your team definitely has something to say here. Someone on your team is just saying she knows she is.
She is what? I'm so
Intuitive.
sorry. Oh,
One of the things that actually does get in the way for a lot of people is we get this intuition and then we put it in our brain and we start rationalizing it or trying to make it logical. So what happens is, for example, Shelly has a friend named Julie. And Shelly and Julie are really good friends. And you meet Julie and you're like, I don't know, I'm feeling this little, I don't know. But then you take it in your head and you go, well, Shelly's one of my closest friends. And if Julie's one of her closest friends, she should be one of my closest friends. No, because then down the road, you're going to find out you two just don't mesh. See, we try to make logic out of it or make it fit in a box.
Yeah.
Does not work.
Fuck Julie.
Fuck Julie. Okay.
That's hilarious.
All right.
That is a very on point topic for both of them,
Yeah.
to be honest.
But I feel like I'm
But it's
always
the
the one that
opposite.
calls them out.
it's opposite of what
And
you said.
she wants to give everybody a chance.
I think though, I think
What
what
are you-
Elyse
yeah.
Ann is saying is that I know the right answer, but
Right.
my
But you
my
won't.
logic
Right.
is telling me no, give them a chance because
Right.
so and so give them a chance. They
Yeah.
seem like a good person, but I already knew the answer, but I don't listen to
That's
it.
Yes.
true, but you
Yeah.
are coming into that and realizing that more and more now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have, as I think in this last year, cleared some of the debris of that,
That's
and I'm
very
seeing it a
true. Yeah.
little bit better.
When we're faced with, let's say we're faced with a choice or you're just not sure. Did I get it right? Does it mean this? Does it mean? Take that message and center it into your heart. Does it feel correct? We have to feel. What am I feeling? That's the only time your brain should be engaged is to identify the feeling. And then you can walk away with it and say, okay, I didn't feel good about that or I felt great about it. You're sitting here and you're about to break wide open with a lot of this, whether you realize it or not. You've thought about it along the way. You haven't really verbalized it. You haven't. Yep. All right. So that, I believe, was our time for your session today.
It really made sense.
Awesome.
Do you guys have any follow-up questions for
Oh,
Elyse Ann?
right.
Anything you want to ask her? Anything?
I just have one question. Has anyone ever come back to you and said, the craziest thing happened? You told me this.
Oh, yeah.
And then, okay, is there a story
Well, like,
that
what are- yeah,
stands
some of
out
your
that you want to
craziest
share?
That you
story.
can tell.
Crazy
Well, yeah,
story.
obviously,
I
like
don't know if I call it
anonymously.
crazy.
Or like
Or whatever.
memorable?
Memorable. I have quite a few. Remember, I've been doing this for 23 years.
Yeah.
But there is one that sticks out in my brain quite a bit. And it was quite a long time ago. And I did a session with someone, and I only can speak about it because you don't know who I'm talking about.
Right.
I just want to say that because I want everybody to know that my clients have complete confidentiality with me. It is never my position or right to share anything from anybody's session, even the fact that they had a session with me. The only time I'll share is when it's nameless and nobody will have an idea.
Right.
Because I respect the work that I do and I have ethics and integrity. And this is sacred to me. This work is very sacred to me. And I want people to feel safe with me. Okay? Of course. So, one of the ones that sticks out to me is I had a session with a woman, and I think we were talking about her career. If I remember correctly, I think she was a real estate agent, but basically, I'll give you obviously summarizing it. I said to her, well, when it comes to your career, there's a person that you knew, like you haven't heard from them in like 2 or 3 years, and they're going to reach out to you out of nowhere. And I see a hand. It's some sort of medical device. You're going to be repping. They're going to want you to rep that medical device. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to call you, and you're going to become a rep. And about, I don't know, 2-3 months later, approximately, I got a call from her. She says to me, Elyse Ann. During the reading, I really thought you were on some alien land in some alien world. When you were I mean, those are the words she said. When you were telling me this stuff, I was like, what? She said, everything you said came true. I heard from so-and-so, and he has this medical thing that you put your hand on it, and he wants me to rep it. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love
it
it.
didn't make sense at the time, but
People look at me a lot, and they're like, or they'll shake their head no, or I mean, and the thing is, I've done this long enough, and I'm confident in what the information is. Yeah, so I mean, Spirit constantly continues to wow me. I never want to lose the amazement I have.
Oh,
with
I
them.
bet.
23 years later, I love it.
I have another question,
Yeah.
kind of related, but do you do any hypnosis work?
No, I do not do hypnosis.
Okay.
I have done past life regression
Ooh, okay.
in a session, but it's not hypnosis.
Okay.
I'm not licensed, and I don't.
Oh, I didn't realize that
no,
was a
I'm not
separate.
licensed.
Okay, I know it's different, but I didn't.
It
know
is
that's
very
right.
different.
Okay.
Yeah, schooling and licensing and but I can take people back. Like I can do guided meditation. It's like doing a guided meditation to take them back into a past life and things like that.
We might do that next time.
Okay.
okay, two-part question. Have you ever had like seen any kind of possession or spirit or anything attached to you spiritually that's negative, or wait, what was my other part? Do you do like what was that one when we went to that psychic just recently at Piano and she said I needed a spiritual cleansing?
Yeah. Okay.
Do you do spiritual cleansing?
She said you needed one?
Yeah, heavy. She said I needed a heavy one. I'm
we could
joking.
get into
I'm
that
joking. I'm joking.
conversation.
But she just said a spiritual cleansing. Do you believe in that? Do you do that? Yeah. Stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm a healer too. I'm a Reiki master teacher, and I have this method called visionary healing method. It's a unique method. I use color and I do it, and combined with Reiki. And so, yeah, I work in the energy field. So I've seen lots of stuff. I've seen lots of symbolisms too.
This
And
person told me that I needed a spiritual cleansing. Would you
Okay.
say that?
I would not
Sitting
use that
with me?
terminology. No, I would never use that kind of terminology because, listen,
You did say she said a lot of
She was
things.
accurate on quite a few things.
Okay. It depends on how this person termed it. Okay, because what
She
triggered...
said I needed a spiritual cleansing, quote unquote.
Did she say why? Did she tell you there's like negative energy all around?
Yeah,
you?
holding on to resentments, anger, like past traumas.
It depends on her delivery.
Okay.
Because I've heard people use that as scams. I'm not saying this is what she is or what she did. I've just seen so much out there in the industry. But I myself have even had experiences where there are psychic scams, and there's certain wording they can use that, creates fear in a person. Is that what she was doing for you, creating a fear, or was she trying to be helpful? See, it all depends.
She was very matter of fact.
Matter of fact.
Kind of like,
I don't know if, for me...
I could use it.
Okay. So
I didn't disagree with her.
I can clear people's energy. Spiritual cleansing, again, it just depends, because I've heard that used in scams, but I've also heard it used not in scams.
Okay.
So it depends.
But it's a thing.
It can be a thing. Some people use that terminology. The biggest thing to always remember with things like this, if the person is infusing fear, then run.
No, I didn't feel that.
That's good.
Okay. Okay, side tangent, totally off topic. Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
yes.
Because they communicate differently, right?
Yeah.
So I just kind of thought maybe I'm
They
a big
communicate
alien believer.
differently. Pardon me?
I think
I
a lot
believe
of
in
people
aliens.
believe in them.
Oh, I believe in it.
Hardcore.
This is my not psychic view of that. This is just Elyse view of it.
Okay.
If we really are that arrogant that we think we live in this big old universe galaxy on our own, man, you got a problem.
You heard it here, folks. Elyse Ann says aliens are real. She's a psychic.
They absolutely are. They absolutely are. According to me. Some people don't believe that. That's fine.
According to Tiffany.
According to Tiffany.
There's too many stories about it from for
Forever.
centuries. I mean, there has to be something. There has to be something. Like people their stories are so similar and across the span of this large amount of time.
Oh, we have a conspiracy theory episode coming up. So we're going to dive into that hardcore then.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anybody else have any other questions for Elyse Ann?
Will my hair ever grow long again?
So
What,
specific.
I'm a little confused.
Yeah.
She used to have this like, teenager hair, and she's mad that she doesn't have teenager hair anymore.
And I'm chasing it. Well, I had a lot of IVFs, and it came out in like clumps.
Okay. I'm being told you're gonna get most of the way there. Maybe not all the way, but you'll
good.
get back some of it.
I'm taking oral minoxidil, so maybe.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Okay. Whatever it is, I did hear that you'll get, again, not all the way,
Yeah.
but you will get a good portion of it. It's kind of the way they want to say
Right.
it.
Well, you made her day.
Okay, I do
You're
have
welcome.
one other question. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So Stephanie didn't want a reading. She's our behind this. She's boring.
That's
she
okay.
says, "Do you get anything? You don't have to do a reading or anything, but you get anything from
Is it
her?"
okay?
I was just thinking if anything's hopping off.
If she should buy a lot.
Yeah, you have a lot of changes coming, Stephanie. You have a lot of visions, a lot of different pieces here that you're looking at, and God, I'm chilling. And you're starting. You're. I don't know if you're like looking on how to put it all together. I don't think it's that. I think you're looking on how to make everything, all of it work, even though some of it may be separate. You understand? Yeah. Okay. And look, they're saying you're very successful. You have the formula for success, is what they're saying. Could you pass it along to all of us, please? And so, you might want to use a term like everything you touch turns to gold.
Call
You tend to have a special touch
Midas.
at times. But yeah, no, you got.
It's true.
It's like magic out there for you. It's golden. Wow, a lot of success. Don't forget us little people.
Well, there's a lot of hard work behind that. Yeah. She
I'm
works
not saying it
hard
isn't.
and nonstop.
Oh,
and all day.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. But yeah, it's almost like they want to say, just don't worry too much. Just always remember, and I know you're really good at this, but I think sometimes you get a little too independent. Remember, you got a team up there that's willing to help you with all of it. You get a fierce independent streak sometimes, and you don't even realize you're forgetting your team up there.
That's good.
That was
Nailed it. Fierce independence.
Awesome.
Did nail it.
Awesome.
And a lot
Awesome.
of
Thank you.
stuff at once. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, lady.
Thank you, Elyse
how about
Ann.
this? Will I ever find a chocolate golden
No.
doodle? Damn it! I want a backyard breed.
She said
my
no.
dog.
Move on.
So, okay, are you going to do a poo formation? Or are we
I
gonna
do have a poo formation.
Who what?
I
a
know.
poo formation.
These
It's an
are-
affirmation.
Well, we're the
but
Shit
it's
Apple
a-
But I thought
podcast.
first she
Oh.
was going to do a, you want to know what I dislike.
Okay, yeah.
So-
So instead of you know
Sometimes
what I
we forget.
hate, Elise is going to do you know what I dislike. Oh, take the
Yeah,
And that,
Take the
that's
floor.
dislike. And I'm sitting here feeling it, and I'm going, a
Go
little bit more
off.
than dislike. It burns me, baby.
Yes.
All right. I've been in this industry 23 years. I have done events. I've interacted with so many practitioners. And I think one of the biggest things that gets me and burns me is being a psychic is so misunderstood. People just don't understand. There are very good psychics out there, and there are not so good psychics out there. You go to these events, okay? One of the things I want to share is sense into it. When you're going to pick a practitioner, sense into it. Feel who you're being pulled to, okay? Because I have been at events, why they even have them as vendors, I don't understand, where people call themselves psychic and they have a deck of cards sitting there and a book goes with the deck of cards. And they're charging money for people to come up and have a reading. And what does this person do? They pull a card. Oh, forgiveness. And they read the whole card and they put it down. And then they'll take it, or they'll pick up the book and read the rest of it.
Yeah. It's
And
like
they're
we-
calling that a psychic session. No way, no how, I'm sorry, but that is not psychic. That's pulling a card and reading it. Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they turn around and people believe that that's what a psychic reading is.
A lot of skeptics come out of that.
It makes you less credible in a sense because
Yeah.
there's the It's
They're
just like
screwing
any
up
field.
any
It's like,
field,
right, if you
yeah.
go to
Any
medical
field,
school,
there's
and then
good and
right.
bad. There's
Right.
crappy doctors, there's great doctors.
Yeah.
You know, what I did, estheticians, there's terrible, and
Yeah.
then there's a few good in there, but you gotta weed them out.
Yeah, but you know what? Because we're so misunderstood and because
Yeah,
people
again-
don't know a lot about it, this is the exposure they
understand.
get. And then they start believing it from that space. And that's not being psychic.
Yeah.
That's literally just reading what's written for you. Being psychic is connecting in and getting the additional information that goes along with the card. And it just burns me because they're being paid for this.
Well, it's discrediting what you do.
Well, and
Yeah,
I
and
feel
it's
like
almost like scamming them. You're
Yeah.
not really doing a reading. I see it all over Facebook Lives too. You're a farce.
Yeah.
You're not real. Stop misleading people.
Yeah.
phony
Let them
baloney.
yeah.
We're talking to you. We're talking to you.
So I'd have to say that, as you can tell, is one of the biggest things that
It burns
it
us.
burns me, baby. It burns me because I'm here to help people. I'm here to show people what psychic is really about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that it's for the good and to help you.
That's what I was going to say. Who do you go to when you want like a reading?
I have some friends here and there that I go to. I don't tend to do it very much anymore. Why do psychics go to other psychics, you may ask? That's a good question, okay? Because we're emotionally involved in our own life, and we have our desires and our
can't see it
issues, and I can pull cards for myself, but guess what? I can make that card mean whatever I decide I want it to mean because I'm emotionally involved and it's something
You're
I
putting
really
your own
want.
bias in there.
Now I can get a lot of information from, and they flow energy to, information to me all the time. But if it's something I really, really want, so that's why a lot of psychics can't read for their friends or their family. Now I can, up until, like, there's a friend I have who's going through something work-wise, career-wise. I've known her. I don't even know how long we've been going on, honey. It's got to be at least 15 years. She has struggled. We've had some struggles through the years with that. She has, and I've helped her through the years. She's in a situation right now. There's something, hopefully, please God, that may be coming her way, and I can't read it for her because I want it so much for her.
That makes sense.
And I wish I could, but I don't have a clear path.
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense.
sense. Totally.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You gonna read your
I have a
poo
poo
formation?
formation. So we're the Shit Apple podcast, as you know.
Yes.
And I have a jar full of positive poos.
So we try to end it sometimes positively.
Sometimes positively.
Especially
Right.
now that you're here.
Oddly, it's me that's ending it positively. So, on behalf of you being here and, talking to our spiritual team and being on different energy levels and stuff, it says, I am going to take life to the next level.
I like that.
We should all
Very cool.
close on taking life to the
Yeah.
next level.
Keep
Elise,
ascending.
thank you
Keep
so
ascending.
much. Anyways, everybody, it's been fun. Let's talk about Elyse Ann. Like, how did you guys feel about the reading? First of all, I just loved her. I loved her energy. I loved how great she was. She taught us a lot about just the whole
Yeah.
subject matter. But I think she was really pretty accurate with me. Like, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm curious to find out what all of it means because a lot of mine's kind of unanswered. And so is yours, kind of. But you kind of got to...
I felt like I had an inkling. I thought she was she was one of the better readings I've ever had.
Wow.
And
I
I've
love
had,
And
I
that was
even
such
had
a
time-
fast reading, too, for you to say that.
Well, I probably only had like 3 to 5. I had one in New Orleans, which the lady said some crazy stuff, but she was correct.
Really?
Yeah, I wish I recorded it because at that time, my sister number 4 had no kids, and she said
yeah, you told me
she's
that.
gonna have 5 kids, and I was like, there's not even time for her to have 5 kids. Like she's already older than me, and you know what I mean? And she ended up having 4 kids. She was pregnant with triplets at one point.
Oh, my God.
So I'm just like, damn, that's very specific.
Yeah.
That's
That is
very
crazy.
specific. Anyway,
And I will say, Elyse Ann was probably my first psychic reading, like actual one.
Like a real one.
Like where I sat with a psychic. Like the only other time I've done it was at the parents' night out.
that's the only time someone like you who's so into it.
I've never had a reading. I've had people like that are intuitive or psychics that have come up to me and given me information.
Okay.
Or my husband has gotten, and his family are really into it, and they've gotten psychic readings and given him information about me, but I've never actually been read. So that is my first legit real reading.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel
And
like this
it
is
was
a
a
new
good one.
hobby for me.
I think it was
really
awesome.
Like it.
A new what?
Hobby.
And for all you listeners, you guys should really check her out because I do think she was really legit. Like she's
Elyse Ann Psychic on Instagram.
She's legit, but she's not like, I don't know, I guess I sort of imagined it being like more mystical and like specific. Like she's legit in that it feels real because the way she's not saying anything with certainty. She's not like all voodoo-y, woo-woo.
Yeah.
It's just the way she shares the information. It either speaks to you or it doesn't.
yeah.
And I feel like for me, she really spoke to things that have been on my mind. Like of all
Which
the
was
things
so
she could
cool.
say, those specific things
Yeah.
was interesting.
Yeah, I think it.
Like I have a story for each thing she said about.
Yeah.
Like I was like, that just happened. I was just talking to Grace about that. Or
Wow.
whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You had a really good one.
I had a
I'm
good
happy
one.
for you. That
You
was
did.
great.
Yeah.
And TBD on what artistic thing I have coming up.
I already told you.
On what?
I don't know.
said
She
it
said I
was
have
needed.
something going on. Shelly's pissed about it, but
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. I'm going to ruin it.
No, it's gonna be good for the
Shelly's
pod.
going to control it and make it fail.
I'm going to call in a bomb threat.
No,
The
not
bomb
me,
threat.
because we're gonna get so many followers from that. We're gonna
Oh, okay.
piggyback off
Oh, you have
You
to.
don't think they can't
It's the way you
mix?
present it to me, where I'm going to have a
Like,
buy-in.
oh, okay, now I like it.
Tiffany's
now I
coming
like
out
it.
with something. Just hang tight.
Yep.
Hold on. It's coming.
Hopefully, it's
Buckle
lip
up.
gloss.
I don't.
I'll be your best
you guys,
customer.
I don't see product. I
She
don't
said
see
painting-
product.
I don't see you painting a Picasso.
I
see
hope
you
not.
something like you're so into makeup or
Yeah.
something with color. And I see makeup. I see makeup.
Very cool. I don't know.
All right.
I don't see that at all. I'm
You
waiting.
remember a long time ago, I gave you this one piece of makeup called Bo's Babe?
Yeah, I have it.
That would have been such a cute name for your new makeup line.
Well, don't tell the people.
What?
Oh, it's already been
It's already been
created.
taken.
Damn
yeah.
it.
Bo's Babe, but wouldn't
We'll
that have
come
been
up with
cute?
something. My
yeah.
friend Chat's very good at coming up with
Oh,
things.
yeah.
a good
Have you
plan.
met Chap? Why do I have tissue?
So other
I'm about to make
psychic
you cry.
things, guys. Does anyone want to talk about other psychic moments, things they've had?
Well, we all went to okay. And by the way, talking about Elyse Ann, I looked at Stephanie. I feel like hers was.
Hers was good on you.
I thought it was too.
Yeah. Did you have like a very specific thing about Elyse Ann that stood out for you?
I feel like mine was very good. I feel like Tiffany thinks I'm hard to read. I think I'm an open book, which, in our scrapped episode that we did, I told you like the M&M theory. You know what I mean? I put everything out there, and I feel like I am easy to read.
I don't think so.
No. Your energy speaks differently. You might say things, but your energy is different. There is a wall in a sense. So I think sometimes maybe, I don't know. I'm not a psychic, so I don't know, but I think it's hard to kind of read you. I think it is sometimes.
All right,
I don't know.
whatever.
Yeah.
But you are an open book.
Yeah.
kidding.
I mean, remember
In
when I
another way.
hated you and then I loved you and then I
Yeah.
stalked you and
Yeah,
it's the whole
yeah.
thing. You even confused me and I knew you.
Yeah. So going back just a few months ago, we went to this thing called Parents' Night Out for the elementary school, and all four of us
Yes,
had a reading by the same woman.
that's
Yes.
true.
So what she told me was, I have a daughter who's 16. For those of you who don't know, and I guess I always want her to like win at cheer and like do good in school and blah 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 blah, because she works so hard. She's just like the hardest working person I know, right? So I always want her, and Bill's the hardest working person I know.
Both self-motivated.
Right. And I want them to always have a win. So I always ask about that, but I didn't ask this lady about Layla. And she said, so you have another kid? And I said, yeah, and she's older. And she's like, I feel like she's very smart and blah, 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 which is maybe, it's very true, but I'm saying it's not, what person is going to go like, no, my daughter's so stupid.
No, but
you
if
know?
she was struggling in school, I don't think that would be
Yeah,
good.
That
maybe.
wouldn't come up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was like, I see really, really big things for her, which I was like very excited about. And she's like, she said very nice things about Layla. She told me I personally was going to be very successful coming up very soon. I love that. And I'm hoping it's with the podcast,
It better be.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Or
We
my
also-
makeup line.
She knew we were all kind of
We
hanging out
were
and
really
talking.
hoping and praying she'd say it was successful. She's like, it's going to be successful. But she did say 2 years, right?
But before I said the podcast thing, she said, you're doing something creative that you've never done before. Something
Oh.
like you've never done. She said that. And I said, then I was like, oh my God, you're right. I'm doing a podcast. Then I got excited.
But I'm with her and her and her.
But also, Elyse Ann touched on like it's okay to like kind of guide them and
Guide
say
them.
like,
yeah, yeah.
But then sometimes you don't want to give up information.
Well,
so it's
for
like,
a skeptical person, yeah,
Right.
you want to see if this person's legit. Yeah, I get that.
okay.
Yeah.
What else did she touch on for you?
She did say something about there being me having like a guardian angel. And I honestly feel like I felt that. And I always joke with Arash, like if he's like, oh, well, if he like makes a smart ass comment to me, not in like out of anger or meanness, but like even in jest, if he like says something smart ass to me, I swear he'll trip, he'll fall. I'm like, thank you. Thank you.
Oh my
And that's
gosh.
been our inside joke like since we've dated. And so I
That's
just
funny.
thought that was funny that she said that. Because I do feel that I do have a little bit of guidance, someone watching over me.
And she talked about your childhood too.
Did she
Yes.
really say that? You went back and forth a lot as a
She
kid?
did say I went back and
Wow.
forth that a lot as a child, and I believe she said the same to you.
She did.
We were both raised
Did
by
you
divorced
go back and
parents.
forth? You went back and forth too, right, Tiff?
I mean, I was raised by my mom
Yeah.
primarily, but
But did you
I
spend
mean,
weekends at your
I'm
dad's?
from divorce, you know.
Oh,
yeah.
like I was packing a bag and going to my
Right.
dad's on the weekends, literally
Yeah,
every
me too.
weekend.
I was every other weekend.
Okay. So we did go back and forth.
I mean, I
That
did in
wasn't
high
true for
school.
Shelley.
I moved around a lot in high school, like my senior year.
Okay.
The psychic at the parents' night out told me that I was a night owl ruled by the moon.
Okay. That makes
I'm like,
sense.
I think that's Shelley.
If you could
I'm not
stay
sure.
up past 9, you are a night owl.
I like how you remembered that. I'd be like, she told me I was like an eagle ruled by stars, you know.
My
That's
friend
great.
Diana here had dinner yesterday at 3:30 p.m.
I heard.
She took a afternoon nap after
Where did
that.
you go at 3:30 p.m.?
What time did you go to bed?
Oh, early. Well, I fell
Even
asleep.
after your nap?
Oh, no. Then I fell asleep at like 10:30.
Ooh, that's late for her.
Yeah. Once I stopped communicating on the text, I was like, it's time for bed.
Yeah, well,
I went because
too
I
early.
was hungry, guys.
That's weird.
I just get hungry and then I just want to eat. I don't know. Like, what do you guys do when you're hungry?
I eat.
I eat,
yeah. But then I can't then eat a big dinner. So I'm just like, well, I might as well
Might
just
as well
eat
be.
dinner.
Yeah,
might
I
as well
screw
force all
everything
my
up.
family to eat at 3:30 too.
The kids
Yeah.
are like, it's only 3. Why are we eating
I
dinner?
mean, did a Rosh go too?
Did they
was
need a
also
second
hungry.
dinner?
No, he made dinner. He just grilled like chicken.
Do
and I
they need a
to-
second dinner
Well,
at
then they can
6
have
or
snacks
7?
or whatever. I don't care what they eat after that, as long as they get the real food in.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, that was weird. But anyways, that was a side tangent. She told me that there would be a death soon,
Oh,
which I thought was like,
Maybe
wow.
it's going to be Daisy.
I mean,
I mean, I hate
I
to say it.
prefer
I
it
hope
to be
so.
Daisy.
Yeah,
Daisy
then
my-
Daisy is
my animal.
Tiffany's dog.
Oh,
she's near
I
it.
love
But
Daisy.
she also said that I am with my soulmate,
Okay.
Well, duh.
and she said I need a spiritual cleansing,
Yeah.
and that I'm holding into a lot of past trauma.
Well, the kids and I and Arash had a reading when we were in Thailand last summer.
Yep.
And it was good. Arash did record it on his phone and I tried to like find it. It's just so grainy and the woman had like a fan in the background. So it's not very clear. And then I tried to upload it to chat to write me a transcript. Turns out chat couldn't help me
Couldn't
out on this
hear it either.
Chat didn't know what was going on.
They
this
did
one.
that on purpose.
But I feel like she said a few things to Vincent. Like I got a very shitty reading in that one. Like kind of like there wasn't a lot. It was very basic.
Okay.
Where I feel like Arash and Vincent got and Grace got very clear readings. Like for Grace, she looked right at Grace and she's like, "Don't ever ride a motorcycle. You're going to get very injured on the motorcycle. Don't ride it."
Good. Nobody should ride
But like
motorcycles.
she didn't say that to Vincent, you know.
Right.
Interesting.
She said some interesting stuff about Vincent. She said some interesting stuff about Arash, but not really me. Just that she did say one thing that stuck out. She said, I asked about going back to work. This was, again, before the podcast ever started.
Okay.
And she said, you're going to do something. And she looked at Arash. You're going to need to support her because she's going to be starting something. And you're going to need to it's going to be a little bit of like financial, whatever, a little bit of this. You have to support her. It's going to work out.
See,
this is
that's
when you
why
were
our
in
husbands
Thailand.
are supporting us so much because I also had a person come to me and say, Tiffany is starting something. It's a business venture.
They
And
told Bo or
told me.
Okay.
And but also then told him too because it's a family friend of ours. And
Okay.
she said, whatever you're starting, it's going to be very successful. And so I think that's why Bo is so like gung ho about this podcast. He's like, you're going to make it, kid. You're going
Yeah.
to make it.
But I feel like that's a lot of positive feedback for something that if you asked me 20 years ago, would you ever start your own business? I would be like, fuck no.
No,
I
yeah.
have zero interest in doing anything like that.
Yeah.
You know? And so,
well, why were you asking to go back to work? What did you want to do before?
I was like at a crossroads where I was like, okay, the kids are getting to an age where don't really need me like the way
Yeah.
that I was needed when I decided not to work anymore.
Right.
And so I just felt like I want to do something for myself, but I don't
did you
wanna-
know what?
No.
When you
I
asked
mean,
her? Okay.
besides this, like I still wouldn't know what if
Yeah.
something, you know, and I've interviewed at places and I was just like, it just doesn't feel like
Oh,
I
you
don't want to
did?
do this. I worked at the flower place
Yeah.
for a little bit. And while I enjoyed what I did for the time I did it, I knew I
Yeah.
wasn't going to do that long term. So
Yeah.
I couldn't find the right thing that was like bringing me joy,
Yes.
and I never really felt like that since my last work, where like I was happy to go to work every day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm happy to come here when we do this.
Yeah, me too.
I'm happy to do it every day. And I'm so glad that I found that again.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah. So I had a psychic come up to me and say the same thing. Like it's a family friend. I was at a 60th birthday party in someone's backyard, and this family friend, this is their cousin. She lives in Canada, and she is a what is she? She's the person. She's a coroner. She works for the.
Interesting.
She's from Canada, but she's
That's
the
creepy.
coroner. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
And she's also an intuitive human being. I don't even know if she would call herself
It's an
psychic.
interesting line of work
Right?
to choose.
Yeah.
or
I know.
That chose her. Maybe?
It's wild. I'd like to have her on someday.
Oh,
but
me too, girl.
she literally came up to me. I did not ask for this information. I'm just hanging out at a party, a 60th birthday party. And I've met her, but I haven't really had a lot of interaction with her. But she came up to me and she was like, I just got to tell you a couple things that are just coming up right now. And I know you didn't ask for this, but basically you are at a crossroads in your life and you're going to start something. And again, I didn't think podcasts really because we had just kind of in the talks, but we were kind of figuring it out. But she said, what was your line of work before you stopped working? And I said, I was an esthetician. And she said, it could be that, but maybe that's what it is. But you're going to start something and it's going to be very successful. And she did keep talking about the esthetician side and the makeup side. And then now Elyse Ann touched on the art side as well. So I don't know if it's podcasts. I'm hoping it's podcasts. I'm hoping it could be something else. I don't
could
really
be
know.
both.
It could be both. They could tie in together, but that's the second person to say that to me.
Well, nobody said anything. So nobody said squat to me. about
Yeah,
podcast.
the elementary school card.
Well, she
reader
said
that-
I was going to be successful.
Yeah.
But she
Okay,
didn't say
well-
the podcast.
Well,
that's
don't
the
they go
same.
hand in hand?
Well, I don't know.
Potentially.
Maybe it's my clinic.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, well, I'm praying it's the clinic for sure.
Well,
Not me. I'm praying it's podcast.
Well, why can't it be both?
It can be
praying it's
both, but
both.
if I have to pick one, it's not your call.
Well, okay, so that was the good news. And I don't want to say this is bad news, but she said that there's a baby
oh yeah.
coming into your life.
Oh, dear.
And I was like, I have 5 of those. Like, I'm good.
Is Daisy pregnant?
I'm, no.
Did Swig?
No, but she said there's a baby coming, and I'm like, is it my baby? She's like, I don't think so. But there's a baby, and I
And
have
what does that lead you to believe?
well, I have a 22-year-old son who has a girlfriend, so I'm terrified.
What do you want your grandbaby to call you? Like Grandma?
No.
Grammy?
I don't.
Granny?
I have 5-year-olds.
Tiff.
I'm just wondering. Like
She wants the grandbaby to call her Tiff.
Tiffy.
Grandma Tiff. But you're not going to be a monster
So
and make
Nene.
your
So
grandkids
Tiff,
call you Glamma.
You could call it Nini.
Glammy.
Nene, get the hell out of here, weirdo.
I'm just wondering. What do you want your grandkids to call you?
I don't know. Maybe organic. Maybe just Diana. I don't know.
D.
D-Dog.
Big D.
D-Dog,
I want them to
Spicy
call
D.
you Big D.
I just, you know what I want them to call me?
My
This is
grandma
very
Big
cheesy.
D's gonna
I
come.
want them to call me whatever, like, it sounds like when they say.
Right,
grandma.
yeah.
Like if it's,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. I don't really care.
Yeah. I'm just wondering. Just wondering since we're
I
talking
want
about
a Big D.
the new baby.
I want your grandkids to call you Big D, and that's
I'll
final.
allow it.
That would
That's
be great.
final.
That would be
I mean, if you had a
phenomenal.
grandma named Big D, and here comes little Diana.
What's
There's
that
nothing
movie?
better.
What's that movie with? Oh my God, I'm terrible at the names. With the grandma, but he's the undercover agent, Martin Lawrence.
Big Mama's
Big
house.
Mama's house. I want them to call me Big Mama.
Oh, Big Mama! Oh my gosh!
That would be great. Who stole my mints?
Nobody,
You put it in
I
your
just
purse.
saw
You
them.
put them in your purse.
Well,
Okay,
yeah.
Shelly, tell us about your psychic.
Okay, I did have
encounter.
a psychic encounter with
How long ago?
it was during COVID. It had to be like 2020, 2021.
Okay, so not that
And some people I used to hang out with, one of them had a psychic come to the house. And this person was referred by our friend, but by the way, I had excuse me, I had a brother. He was a half brother. And like I literally don't talk about that side of my family.
Yeah, I knew you for years and had no idea.
She had no clue. Nobody knew. Nobody knew that I had a brother, that I have, well, they might have known I had a stepmom, but not one single person knew her name, nothing. I don't talk about it. Unlike them, that side of the family, I don't talk about you dummies, okay?
Okay.
Anyhow, I went to this psychic, and unfortunately, my brother passed away from an aortic rupture. He was like, I believe he was 26 or 27
What was
years
the
old.
name of the disorder he had? Something.
He had Marfan's disease, and a lot of people don't know that they have Marfan's. You have to go and get it checked. One little check could save a life. And anyway, he passed away, and in December of, I believe, 2019, 2020. Gosh, I can't remember. I literally have it written down in
had
my
to be 2020.
old-fashioned calendar at home. Anyhow, okay, so we go to this psychic, and everybody's talking about this and this and that, and she looks at me, and she told me that Layla was going to be a troublemaker. And she was like, you have an older kid, and she's going to be the troublemaker. She's going to lead the charge.
Maybe she was talking about, how Elyse Ann said sometimes you pick up on other people's readings. She was reading someone else.
Another
Maybe
kid in
somebody
that.
else's,
That's true.
Oh, that's a really good point. Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
Dinner from Hell
Oh,
situation.
yeah.
So anyway, but we were almost done, and she looked at me because she didn't really have much for me. Nobody gives me much, right? I just
You have to be
noticed that.
open.
I am open. I was so excited.
I am open.
I am open.
Can't you hear it in my voice?
And so she goes, did you want to talk about something? So I don't know. Let's say this was like February. And remember, he passed away in December. And I go, oh, well, I mean, my brother. So the other people were talking to like passed on relatives.
Okay.
And I didn't even think about that. I just want somebody to tell me you are going to win the Powerball. And that's all I want. That's it. And so I was like, oh, well, my brother just passed, like not 3 months ago. I literally said those words. And she goes, you weren't very close with him. And I go, I was when he was little, but not as he's become a man, unfortunately. And she goes, I feel like you were kept. She literally said these words to me. I feel, and everybody in the room was like, you have a brother? And I was like, and oh no, only two of the people were like that because he had passed and I'd already told someone else.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I forgot. Anyway, so she said, I feel like you two were kept away, kept separate, and I feel, and I was like, she goes, and I feel like it's somebody, and I'm not going to say the letter.
But she named the first letter.
She said it's somebody whose name starts with an L. Let's just say L.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Nobody on earth, in this Arizona earth, knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was such a weird thing to me. And she said, she did go on to say that he thinks that apparently he was a lot like me. He was very big and boisterous.
Yeah.
And just a fun personality. And she said, and my dad has actually said that, so that's why I know. And she said, apparently he knows that you two would have gotten along fabulously, and he wished that he had been more open-minded. So probably, not listened to the naysayer.
Yeah.
Maybe he's one of your spiritual guides now.
I hope so. So I've heard, have you guys heard this? Like 11:11 is when the windows open to angels.
And in the shower, like water is a big,
What?
like water, like
Really?
water lakes.
I didn't know that.
Bodies of water, including the shower and.
But
that
not at
time.
11:11, just any body of water, but then
In
and
the water
11:11.
And
Well, numbers are very like there's a whole thing on
Yeah.
numerology and numbers, and it's your years sort of are like I took a class with my girlfriend for her birthday. We went to like this wellness retreat up north, and like they had a numbers class, and the numbers restart. But like 11:11, there's all different kinds of numbers that all have significance.
So I don't know much about that. All I've
you
heard is
see 11:11 a
11:11.
lot?
I don't see 11:11 a lot, and I try and catch it.
I see that.
And when
It's
I
when you
do,
see 333 or 666 or 555, like all the numbers mean things.
right?
But I think, or I've heard that 11:11 is like when the spirit world opens up to you.
Yeah.
And that's when you
Like
can
you
have
have-
like a minute to chat.
To chat, and I do talk to him at 11:11
Oh, you're so cute.
love
I
that.
love that.
if I catch it. I don't catch it a lot.
Yeah.
but there's nothing. So I'm an only child, as you guys know. There was nothing on earth that I wanted more. And my husband's an only child, and him and I have both talked about it. Like we would have done, and we were both spoiled rotten, which many people are. I'm just saying, I would have given up everything I had
To have a sibling.
to have a sibling.
Me too.
I would have been a poor kid
Yeah.
easily just to have a sibling.
I
Bill
wanted
feels
a
the same
sibling.
way. And
I would have cut off my arm for
when
a sibling.
That
absolutely,
makes me sad
it really is sad. And I know that people,
because I don't like all my siblings.
I know, and people tell me that.
She has so many extra.
People, yeah, give me one. I know Nina, just give her to me.
Okay, you can have her.
But
I like that one though.
I know. But I just feel when he was born, I was like, and I was like in my 20s and my early 20s, and he
Yeah,
was
you
born,
already
but I
have a
was still
house
like,
and-
greatest day ever. Greatest day. I spoiled him. I did whatever he wanted. He was as cute as a flipping button. And so I just always felt
When
like,
he was an adult and can decide
Yeah.
for himself. Yeah.
I thought,
You thought maybe you'd come together.
right. So I don't know. So 1111 is very important to me, even if it's fake, even if it's not real. If you see 1111, know that if I caught it, I'm literally talking to my brother.
Aw,
That's interesting.
that's really sweet.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to at 11:11?
Just like the voices in my head. Me, myself, and I.
All right.
But I do believe in all that, like that numbers class I took. You guys, I can't remember
Okay.
anything. I literally took like the most detailed notes, can't remember a thing. But it all rang true. Like, and I can't remember to even tell like our listeners, but it was like, you are in a number like from 1 to 7, and it
is
starts
it based
over
on your birthday,
Yes.
the month, the year,
Yes.
you add them all up?
You add 'em
I feel
up.
like Vogue used to have that page.
No, but it's a
Cosmo.
real thing. And
No,
and-
yeah, but that's how
But
you
like
do it.
in the beginning, it's like I don't know if it's 1 through 7 or 1 through 10. I can't even remember. But you're in different stages of your life, and it really is interesting. Like certain parts you're supposed to make more decisions, and then certain parts you're supposed to like do this. And like where I was when I took the class, it was very accurate, and the girlfriends I was with, it was very accurate. So it was
Okay.
interesting, and we were in different parts of that stage.
Yeah.
It was just cool. So
Interesting.
That is
I don't know. I do
interesting.
believe
Maybe
in a
we
lot
should
of
try
that.
that next. Do a little number reading just for comparison.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
We could just go somewhere and do that. 'Cause,
I don't want anybody to tell me how stupid 1111 is and take it away from me.
I
now.
don't think
I don't. They talked about that in the numbers class.
Yeah,
Like it's
okay.
a thing. And like, if someone tells you it's crap, who gives a
right.
shit?
What do they know?
Yeah, like I don't care. I mean, I believe in aliens, but people tell me they're not real all the time.
What? I thought everybody knew there was aliens.
I don't think everyone believes.
Nobody believes that.
I
Like
don't-
most people.
I don't think a lot of people believe it. It scares me a little. I don't want to believe it, but I just think, how could it not? We talk about aliens a lot for
I know.
not being an alien episode.
I thought I really thought that. Well, I'm married to.
There are people that
A
think the world
sci-fi
is
nerd.
flat, for God's
You're-
sakes. Okay?
You're married to a sci-fi nerd.
Yeah. So Bill's dad actually worked in Area 51.
Bill
I told you
is
guys
smart.
this.
Listen to Bill.
But that's
everybody.
not Bill. You know, it was
He
his
knows
dad.
stuff.
His dad was flown. He would drive to this space in the desert because they live out there in that far desert. Like
Where is Area 51? Is that Nevada?
it's
Mexico
on the way.
or
No,
Nevada?
it's on the way to Nevada.
Yeah, it's like
in
some-
the
I think
I would
California
know
desert.
about that.
And he would drive to this one space, but it's big. Area 51 is big. So I think he worked on the back end of it. So, you know,
What
it's
did
out
his
there
dad
past
do?
Victorville. Huh?
As an attorney?
No,
I
this
was
was
gonna say, what
before.
did his
He
dad
used
do?
to build like rockets and
Oh,
stuff.
he's an
He was
engineer?
at Lockheed. His dad?
Yeah.
He was a lot of stuff.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. Like Bill. And they would fly him in. And they would immediately go down. It was him and a few guys, and they would immediately like go down these stairs.
Okay, is
or
Bill's
into a
dad
building.
alive?
No, he passed away a couple years ago.
Damn it.
I know. Oh, he would have been great.
Did he tell anybody?
Oh, he would
anything?
tell all kinds of
Bill.
stories. He would go out in the middle of the desert and take Little Bill with his friend.
It
Little
looks
Bill.
just
Remember
like
that
Camel.
cartoon?
It looks just like
Oh, yeah.
Camel.
And he would take Little Bill and his friend. Here's his name.
Not
You-
to be confused with the cartoon Little Bill.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But he would take Bill and UFO Doug, and they would go out in the middle. That's his name. In the middle of the desert and watch for UFOs with binoculars.
Oh my God.
And have handheld cameras and stuff.
I'm
they
so
would go
jealous.
to UFO conventions. I'm not
Stop
kidding.
it.
This is
Are you
legit.
saying we should have Bill on the UFO episode?
Oh my God, Bill needs to be on the episode.
Maybe. Well, Bill's not a conspiracy theorist, although he probably knows all about it. He's
a little bit.
He's very knowledgeable about, if there's knowledge about aliens, he's the knowledgeable one.
I feel like he's a little bit of a conspiracy theorist.
He might
A
be.
little
He
bit.
has an opinion one way or the other.
Yeah. Like the conspiracy could be Western medicine or Eastern medicine.
he went
It's
to
just like-
Berkeley. He's not like straight. He's gonna waver a little bit. He's a
Yeah,
little
he
more
wavers.
open-minded.
He's very wavered.
He's open-minded.
Sometimes I tell him he's, Mitch McConnell, and sometimes I tell him he's Barack Obama. But so, you never know
Yeah. Okay.
with Bill. He's a lefty, a righty, a middle,
Yeah.
an up, and a down.
Okay,
He's a
guys.
good middler.
That's my favorite word.
All right. Is that it?
I was very happy with my
I
reading.
loved
Elyse
Elyse Ann.
Ann.
You guys, let us know if you want us to have her back on.
This was her first time on, so I believe that there was
First
a lot
podcast.
of
She was
information.
kind of natural too for never being on a podcast. She
For
was
sure.
very
She was
natural.
great.
Yeah.
She was,
I really loved
she
her.
was a sweetie. Yeah, I like her. Yeah.
So, you want to end it with something?
Oh, I was
you
just
know
going
what
to
I
say,
hate?
you want to know what I hate? This is not related to this topic at all. You want to know what I hate? When people don't close the toilet seat lid before flushing the toilet.
I just did
It
that.
is
I don't.
very disgusting.
Sometimes
I do.
Spreads germs. Close the lid.
I mean, listen, if you're in a airport bathroom in the high-powered toilet, I could see it spraying. But like in
Yeah.
your house, it's very mild and meek.
No, just close it. No one wants to also go into a bathroom and see the inside of the toilet. Just close it.
I
It
like
is
to
there
leave the
for a
seat up so
reason.
my boys actually get it all in the toilet. So I
No.
leave the entire seat up.
Okay, well,
So there's no
you're in a
accidents.
different stage
Oh,
of
that's
life.
that's a good one. No,
very
I mean,
annoying.
Cameron, he's
Everybody
10.
else
That would work.
close the lid. Nobody.
Sometimes I'll go to the bathroom and I'll forget to close the lid, and I'll just
You
do
sit
it
right on
afterwards,
it?
so she thinks that I did it before I flush.
That's what I do. That's what I do too at her house.
Wait, what?
I'm like, oh, I just washed my hands. I look back at the toilet, the lid's still up. I'm like, oh, Diana will see that. I
Yeah,
better shut it.
and then we close it.
Please do.
Oh my God! Can we please? Oh.
Yeah, let the puppy on the show.
Yeah, let
Give us
let
the
us see the
puppy.
puppy. Puppy.
Give us the puppy. That's our
Puppy.
mascot. Oh my God,
Get
he
it.
got a
That's
haircut.
very cute.
Look,
He got it. Look, it goes right to Diana. What'd I tell you?
nope,
Hold the puppy.
right over here.
I wasn't being.
Did he
very
get a
open.
haircut as a girl or a boy? I can't remember. He
What's
got a
his name?
haircut.
Remind me of his name.
Oh my God.
What's his name again?
If that isn't a Star
Grizzy.
Wars character, I don't know what
Oh,
is.
your breath smells like swigs. We are not.
What an
kissing.
angel. Look at
I will
him.
not kiss you on your
Look
first
at
date.
look at that sweet
So
baby.
sweet.
I'm
All right,
jealous.
so I don't have a poo formation. We'll do it next time.
He's our poo
formation
formation.
is Grizzy's poopy in the back, because I'm sure there's hardly any. Oh, he goes out front with the little tiny ones. Oh, it's so cute.
The little turds out there.
Little buddy. Oh, look. Okay. Good night, everyone.
What an angel. Bye.
So cute.